Your very own President Donald Trump got in the professional wrestling industry a long time ago, and nobody seems to realize he's a professional wrestler, even though he went on WWE with this boy Vince McMahon and pretended to throw a clothesline.
This. Hey, look at this! Donald Trump! It's Trump the Thumper. My God!
Even your politics is fake and rigged. It's all professional wrestling. Football, fake and rigged. Professional wrestling. Professional wrestling is politics. Your boy Trump is best friends with Vince McMahon. They pretended to be enemies. Trump shaved his friend's Vince McMahon's head in a WWE ring. Trump threw a clothesline at Vince McMahon, and Vince McMahon pretends to be hurt. Nobody remembers. Nobody remembers but me. It's because you guys weren't watching fake wrestling. A lot of people say, Jake, I never watched fake wrestling. Well, it's too bad, because if you would have, you'd realize how easy it is to spot that everything else is fake. But in professional wrestling, it's okay because it's a show. So you know that they're not actually really trying to hurt each other, and they're not in a real fight. So if you go watch professional wrestling, you can watch Stone Cold take on The Rock. When Stone Cold and The Rock go at it, it sells out arenas. Whenever they used to put Stone Cold and The Rock against each other, they would sell out any arena anywhere in the world. And the thing was, we all knew that they weren't actually fighting, but we want to tune in and see the show to see how the show's going to play out. It's the same thing with this election and the last election. It's a show. They're friends. Joe Biden and Donald Trump are professional wrestlers pretending to be in an election. They eat catered meals together. They already know the outcome of the election. There is no real election. It's a professional wrestling match. But everyone seems to think their fucking vote counts. Your vote counts as much as voting for Hulk Hogan to beat Macho Man. And I also have to explain to people that wrestling will sometimes predict the future. In 1989, there was a tag team called the Demolition, and they fought a tag team called the Twin Towers. Yes, a tag team called the Demolition fought a tag team called the Twin Towers in 1989. And people will say, Jake, that's just a coincidence. Sure it is. And they used to run WWE events in Trump's arena. Did you guys know Trump, back when he used to have a casino and stuff, he used to have this arena, and they used to have WWE events in Trump's arena? Trump and Vince McMahon go way, way back. There's pictures of Vince and Trump from fucking decades ago, hanging out, being buddies. In fact, check out this old picture from the late 80s where Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump are holding hands like some sort of gay lovers. Look at these two. Look at the way they're holding hands. Doesn't that look just a little bit strange? Anywho. But everyone acts like Trump is some sort of awesome businessman, and he's their buddy. He's your pal, and somehow he just climbed his way up the ranks of politics just being such an awesome businessman. He's a fucking professional wrestler, and you idiots who think politics is real, you just never watched enough professional wrestling to understand it's a fucking show. Because if you would have been watching wrestling, you would be able to see the show. In fact, Trump is part of the show. If you didn't go back and watch Donald Trump while he was wrestling, then that means you missed it. I watched Donald Trump when he was doing the professional wrestling, so I know what it looks like to see a man pretend to be in a feud with his best friend. So when I say Donald Trump and Hillary are friends, people go, no, he's not. He hates her. He's going to put that woman in jail. Are you fucking idiots? It's an act. It's professional wrestling. Donald Trump is not going to put Hillary in jail. Is she in jail? No. He said he was going to put that woman in jail. And you know what else? Like Hulk Hogan always said he was gonna do the right thing for his little Hulkamaniacs, and then he became the leader of the NWO. Hulk Hogan was the greatest good guy there ever was, and then he became the leader of the New World Order in wrestling. And guess what? Donald Trump was a Democrat and used to love Hillary and Bill, but then he became a good guy, a Republican, and now he's the president while the NWO is taking over. The NWO is literally taking over right now in real life. Trump is sitting there as your acting president, talking out of both sides of his ass, saying that your vaccine's coming. He's got your vaccine ready and it's safe. Meanwhile, all the Trump supporters are like, he's a good guy. He's on our side. He's a good guy who rose up the ranks and he's going to save us. And of course, anytime I talk bad about Trumpy, people assume I must be voting for Biden. No, all the politicians are professional wrestlers and your vote doesn't count. The whole thing is fucking rigged. Duh, you fucking idiots. But people with their Trump flags, Trump 2020, Trump 2020, Trump 2020, you're rooting for a professional wrestler. You're rooting for Hulk Hogan. You're rooting for Macho Man. You're rooting for fucking professional wrestling, you fucking idiots. The same as your stupid football team. Your football team and your fucking wrestling and your fucking politics are all rigged and they're all bullshit. You better hit the thumbs up, brother. If you don't hit the thumbs up, brother, then I'm gonna come over there and I'm gonna shove this bowl right up your sister's twat. And if you don't got a sister, brother, then I'm gonna shove it up your brother's twat, sister. Ooh, yeah, brother. Let me tell you, brother, what's gonna happen, brother. I'm gonna be your brother and I'm gonna find your sister and I'm shoving this up her twat. Ooh, yeah. Hulk Hogan is the greatest promo man of all time. Nobody can do a promo like Hulk Hogan. There was a time where he was on steroids and he used to do rails of cocaine and he would be like, oh yeah, let me tell you something, Mean Gene. Let me tell you, brother, you need to eat your vitamins. You better eat your brother vitamins, brother. And if you don't brother your vitamins, oh, listen to your mother, brother. I'm going to find you little Hulkamaniacs and I'm going to force my vitamins down your brother's throat. So you better say your prayers and you better listen to your mother. Ooh, yeah, that's right. You better fear God, brother. And you better do what's right. And you better watch the Hulkster tonight. And you better buy my lunch pail. And you better buy my shirt, brother. Ooh, tell your mother to be your brother and to buy my merchandise. Ooh. And it was like he sold out arenas around the fucking world and he was bigger than the business that employed him. He was literally bigger than the professional wrestling industry, to where he was the only guy people wanted to see and they were forking over their money to see Hulk Hogan. And then he turned into the leader of the New World Order. He did. He went from being the greatest good guy to the greatest bad guy. And if you go watch Hulk Hogan NWO heel turn, Hulk Hogan NWO heel turn, and it's right here on YouTube, you can see the day when he turned from good guy Hulk Hogan to bad guy Hulk Hogan. People lost their mind and threw shit in the ring and filled the ring up with trash. They threw beers all over him while he was in the ring. And he gives the greatest promo of all time about how he doesn't give a fuck about the fans anymore. It's a promo that nobody could ever give, and it cements him as being the greatest promo man of all time. And you guys might think like, Jake, I don't care about pro wrestling. It's fake. Fucking watch what I just posted there. It's the good guy, the greatest good guy there ever was, who turns into the greatest bad guy there ever was, and watch the way the fans react. The New World Order came out in wrestling before it came out here in real life so openly. Right now, the boogeyman disease, the mask wearing, everybody bending over, the business is all collapsing. That's the New World Order taking over here now. But before all this, in wrestling, there was a New World Order, and it was Hulk Hogan, and it was Kevin Nash, also known as Diesel, and Razor Ramon, also known as Scott Hall. So Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, Kevin Nash started this rebel group called the New World Order. And basically, it was like the New World Order was going to take over professional wrestling. And it was a storyline, and it's conditioning for what was to come in the future. Just like in 1989, there was a tag team match between the Demolition and the Twin Towers. It's conditioning for what's to come. Just like Vince McMahon and Trump are best buds, but they pretended to be enemies. They pretended to fight. So when I tell people Donald Trump is a professional wrestler, he's got in the ring and thrown a clothesline and pretended to fight, they go, nuh-uh, you're stupid. You're just a conspiracy theorist. Meanwhile, you can literally go watch Trump in the ring throwing a clothesline at Vince McMahon. If you get in the ring with Vince McMahon and he lets you throw a clothesline and then he falls and pretends to be hurt, you are now a professional wrestler. It doesn't matter if that's the only move you ever do. If you get in the ring on WWE television and you participate in a fake move and the owner of the company falls down and pretends to be hurt, that means you're a professional fucking wrestler. If Trump is your boy, you are a fan of a professional wrestler. And I know you think he's a good guy. It's because that's his part. He's the good guy. And he used to be a bad guy. He used to be friends with Hillary Clinton and be a Democrat. But then he turned into a good guy. And now he doesn't like that woman and wants to put her in jail. It's a script. It's a Hollywood script. Who's following along? Who's following along? If you guys go back and fact check anything I've said, it's 100% dead on. All the stuff I've tied in with professional wrestling, if you don't believe it, it's so easy to go find. Just type in Trump versus Vince McMahon, and you can go back and watch the entire thing. They're friends pretending to be enemies. And people who love Trump are going to be like, that's because he's a good businessman and he's such a good actor. Trump's a good guy. He's a professional wrestler and you are a hillbilly. Trump's a good guy and he's your friend and he's trying to fight for free speech and he loves you. You are a hillbilly who loves professional wrestling. And the thing is, that character that I can slip in and out of, Trump 2020, he's a good guy. That is millions of people who are registered voters who think they're making a difference. And if you talk shit about these people, they get mad and assume you're voting for Biden. Well, you must be voting for Biden. I don't vote. Voting is for zombie slaves who think that voting matters. But if you don't vote, then Biden will win.
Seriously, these dudes are all related.
On the School Watch tonight, the story of a 7th grader from Salinas who claims to have made a major discovery about President Obama. She and her grandfather say that President Obama is related to all but one U.S. president. We get more tonight from Action News reporter Felix Cortez, who's live in our Salinas newsroom.
Well, Dan, the youngster spent the summer, really all summer, tracing the family tree of our presidents. Her conclusion that all the presidents, with the exception of one, share the same grandfather.
Well, first we start off with George Washington at the top, and then it goes to John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
11-year-old Bridget Dovigneau says she's made a first-of-its-kind discovery that President Obama and all the presidents before him, with the exception of one, are related and descendants of a former king of England.
No, they are all cousins, and they're grandsons of John Lackland.
Dovigneau says she spent countless hours on the internet over the summer researching the lineage of our presidents, a project that started with her trying to trace her own family tree.
But I'm the first historian to do all the presidents. I'm very glad I got this done, and I think it will turn out to be a success.
The Monte Vista Christian 7th grader has written President Obama to tell him the presidents before him are his cousins. She hopes to present this family tree chart personally to the president. But Bridget has her skeptics, including this reporter. Her biggest supporter and firm believer that Obama is a descendant of a former king of England is no doubt her mother.
If you have a child, and they 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 have a child.
Like names change.
All she's saying is this guy is the great, 25th, 27th, depending on what line it is. He created all this family.
Yeah, it's a big club, and we ain't in it. And Trump is no different than any of these other people, and it's astonishing to me how many times I've brought this up. His entire platform, when he presented himself, when he was presented as your pick for an election between him and Hillary, I'm going to put her in jail. That never, ever, ever, ever happened, because it was never, ever going to happen. These people write the laws. They're not going to put themselves in jail. Worse than that, they're all related, one way or the other. You see what I'm saying? It should be pretty obvious by now. But the thing that sticks in my mind the most is this. They're pushing this on the American public in the mainstream. And then right over here, I mean, it's not like it's hidden ancient knowledge that you need to be initiated to see. It's right here on the CDCs. The fatality ratio of this is nothing. And we've been telling you this for a long time. Dr. Tedros isn't a doctor. He is not a doctor. He was the former health minister for Ethiopia, a country not known for its large, healthy, well-fed people. Do you see what I'm saying? All of this has been coming out non-stop, and yet this is all people can see. And it's blowing me away, it's freaking me out, and it's pushing us towards another lockdown. And people are going to buy this. This is amazing to me. Absolutely and utterly amazing to me. These people are not politicians, they're actors standing in place for the corporation of the United States of America while the machine runs on. That's it. And now the corporation is being liquidated and people don't even see it. It blows me away. Trump was put here to keep the conservative Christian people that would stand up for freedom at bay. And it's worked too well, apparently. Because when you can pull this off right in front of people's faces and they still don't get it, we're in deep, deep trouble.
Now that we know, Vice President Dick Cheney and Senator Barack Obama are distant cousins.
In my book, there's a lot of genealogical research, going back, Dick's family, my family, these heroic and amazing tales of people who went west. But one of the things I discovered is that Dick and Barack Obama are 8th cousins. What? Is that an amazing thing? Yes, if you go back 8 generations, really? They have a common ancestor.
The New York Post decided to check into the genealogy of President Bush, and his family tree has people talking.
Many of the United States presidents have blood relations with each other. The Bush lineage has blood ties to a great number of former presidents. George Washington, Millard Fillmore, Franklin Pierce, Abraham Lincoln, Ulysses Grant, Rutherford Hayes, James Garfield, Grover Cleveland, Teddy Roosevelt, William Taft, Calvin Coolidge, Herbert Hoover, Franklin Roosevelt, Richard Nixon, and Gerald Ford.
We all know his father, but what about his cousins? Check out this family tree, done with research by Ancestry.com. Let me take you through this, branch by branch. Vice President Dick Cheney, the man who's only a heartbeat away from the presidency, is actually a blood relation. He's President Bush's 9th cousin once removed. Cheney's cousin Barack Obama is also Bush's 11th cousin, and the 9th cousin of Brad Pitt.
In either of those first 2 books, though, who knew you and Dick Cheney cousins?
Listen, I don't think I'm going to family reunion. I don't know how I'll be greeted.
So when you hear things like people like Brad Pitt are related to these as well, it makes things like this make a little more sense, doesn't it? Because Dr. Anthony Fauci, I'm sure, is part of the club because he's being used really, really well. And Brad Pitt. And don't forget the NBA guys. Do you remember when this whole thing first came out? The NBA guys, we've got COVID and Tom Hanks and all this other stuff. Do you remember what Tom Hanks showed us? You remember this? We're in Australia. We're down here. We're doing as good as we can. We were tested and found to be positive for the coronavirus. Blah, blah, blah. And we're just eking through and hoping that we'll be cured from this deadly disease. And then he puts this up. My wife has won 6 straight hands and leads by 201 points, which is really, really strange. and then shows his favorite typewriter. Just coincidentally enough has the word corona on it 3 separate times right there. And my wife is leading by 201 points. 201? What could he possibly be referring to? Oh yeah, this thing that happened exactly 2 months before this entire thing went live. The tabletop exercise hosted by Bill and Melinda Gates, John Hopkins, and the World Economic Forum. Now, you've heard of the World Economic Forum, I'm sure, because during this time that we find ourselves gripped by this pandemic where people are dying left and right, the bodies are piling up in the street, the World Economic Forum says, well, right now is the time for a great reset, where we reset the entire country, we basically bring in Agenda 21. And if you recall, this channel right here was the first time you heard COVID and Agenda 21 before they came out. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact. But back to Mr. Trump. This guy is one of them. Straight up, pure and simple, no two ways about it. He's one of them. He's not here to play 3D, 4D, 5D chess. He's simply here to watch America be completely deconstructed. That's exactly what's happening, and they warned us about this. Right here on the Economist cover, like they always do. Trump sitting on top of the world on the Judgment Tarot card, tilted towards the tower with the world in the background, holding the amulet and the scepter, the last president of the United States. And this is how they make it happen. He's not for us. He's not for us. I'll leave links below so you can watch and see for yourself how all the presidents are completely related. This isn't a democracy, and it was never supposed to be. This was supposed to be a republic. We could have kept this country if we kept this country, but we didn't. We fell into convenience. We fell into television, entertainment, all of this. It's right in front of your eyes. I don't really know what else I can possibly show you to make you understand this. Infected with a disease where you literally have more of a chance of dying peeling an orange than you do getting COVID-19.